Christians believe he was the savior of the world. Jews believe, okay, maybe the man named Yeshua HaMashiach may have existed, but he wasn't a Messiah in any way. Muslims, on the other hand, they believe in Jesus Christ, but as a prophet, not as a Messiah. Yeah, not as like the Son of God, but they do believe he's a great prophet. They acknowledge him. So it's fundamental differences. I wouldn't even say it's that much of philosophical differences. It's just fundamental differences in who's the Messiah and who basically do you believe is the intercessor between you and God.
That's why it's like some Christians you see they're more spiritual, and then some Christians you see they're more religious. And the more religious ones are the ones who are set in their ways. It's like literally like a set rule. This you can't do this, you can't. And it's like, yo, you're taking it to a whole other level because you can't tell somebody what is right and what is wrong. You're not God.
Yeah.
You can't go around playing God.
Right.
I have to tell some Christians, it's like you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at them and I'm like, all I could do is just pray for you. Let me be impeccable with my word. Let me not assume anything.
Let me ask you.
In this world that might, be how she was explaining, is a certain structure they have to have. There is a lot of people in this world that actually need that structure in their lives.
Yeah.
They need that structure, and there's other people that don't feel like they need it. It might be cool, but they can go along their own path. But some people in this world literally need someone to lead them, to guide them, to tell them this is how you're supposed to live your life and go on. And I just realized that not too long ago, a few weeks ago, because I used to judge like my cousins and whatnot and how they dove into Christianity like head first. They was just out here wilding out, living worldly, and now they're like, oh, that's of the world, I can't do that anymore. I'm like, whoa, what the? But I realized, I'm like, they needed some type of structure. They needed somebody to say
your connection. So if we focus more on our connection, then we focus on the institution of what it is and the construct of what we've been taught to be, whatever it is. Because I grew up in baptistry with Matt King Carter, and it was totally different than what I can imagine. But at the same time, it's not like we can. Every church is different. I done been to some churches and I done did sound. I done been in the back. I done did video. I know the sermon before it go out. You get what I'm saying? In the big churches. So I see the whole production. I see all the all work in the back end. But to some extent, it's pure. The people who worship it in their own self, who's within their own self, like they worship it. Like you see one person on the praise team, she sing better than everybody else. It ain't because she thinks she better. She just singing. She may be the most timid person on the praise team, you get what I'm saying? But she's singing is because that's how she feels, because that's her connection with God in that moment. And that's what we need to be focusing more on. I feel like just saying that we need to be focusing more on our connection with spirituality more than the institution of the church. Because if you, like literally y'all can start a church and have a church tomorrow.
No, gee, he's right.
He's right, yeah.
Kanye, they calling Kanye church Sunday service, bro.
Yeah.
It's church. And I remember I was in the church with Justin. So we was in church and he was playing drums and I was on sound, right? And at that time, I'm not a religious person, but at that time I was going through some things. I had just came out of Jackson Mental Health, like literally a week out of it, right? So I'm in there and I go to and I literally was like, man, just like trying to figure everything out, like show me a sign. And I end up being in the church, the last place I wanted to be. Swear, I tell you no lie, because I don't, even when I was there, he'll tell you, no, I'm not believing that. Fool jumped on the couch, I don't care. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it was just like the relationships I built in that time. You feel me? I can't never take that away. You feel me? With elders, with youth, with anybody, I can't ever take that away. I can't ever take that away that I needed that in that time. And it wasn't, I could have, I'm from the city. Why I'm going to the church way in Miami Gardens? Yeah, I work there, but I'm getting paid to be there, you know what I'm saying? But that was my church at the same time. It propelled me. Whatever that spirit led me to say, hey, this God showed me the way, that was the way. And at some point it just became like, okay, I was learning. Even though I was getting paid to be there, I was learning. So I don't think of it like Don't think of it like the institution. Think of it like people, like how it got us here today. That same energy got us here today to connect the way it did. It's the same thing with the church. It just, that's the energy that you're moving with at that time. And, yeah, and that's just what it is. And it's not so much of the institution itself of the church, because every one of them, yeah, it's a business and whatnot. And I can go on and on for days about what they doing and what they not doing. And everybody does their thing different. And I just feel like, yeah, we just should focus more on the spirituality aspect than the church. Because we'll be mad at every church and generalizing, and it's not every church. Like, I done been to, like, my girl church, her dad, like, my girl, she's a PK, you feel me? And her dad built the church right over here on 62nd and 11th. It's the smallest church I ever been to. You feel me? But everybody, they get up and they testify, they talk to one another. It's like family. You feel me? But I go to a bigger church, you got this going on over here, this going on over here. And the same drama happens at every church. It's just about how they deal with it, how they tend to want to deal with it, and how they practice what they preach. You feel me? Because a lot of people don't do it, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of those bigger churches, it's not that easy connection. So when you slip up, there's nobody to hold you accountable as opposed to a smaller church. And that's what I learned that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? But and I learned that from somebody who was in that same church. It's just more about, don't get hung up on so much of the church, but focus on your connection and you'll get where you need to be.
And can I say